Hi, everyone. I think we are live. I had to clean this glass mat. Boy, it was dirty. So, I'm going to put this stuff here, but I don't, let's see, let's move it over because I do not want to cross-contaminate anything. Let me know if you're here. Say hi. I'm going to go ahead and get started because um, as people pop on, we will say hello and we're going to keep going. I'm going to do, I've got some spray stains and I'm just going to do a little bit here and maybe spray just a little bit of water. I've got some Bristol Strathmore smooth paper, and which is like a mixed media paper. It can really take a lot of abuse. And so I sprayed it with just a little bit of water. And now I'm just going to tap in this spray stain that I've sprayed a little bit here on my glass studio mat. And let me reach over here and flip this over. Say hi. Let me know when you're here. And there we go. Okay. I have to watch myself on a different screen and not so much always on the YouTube channel because it's delayed. And so it throws me off from where I'm actually working and where I am and what you see. And so I have to go back to the other screen. So we are going to, let me zoom in just a little bit. Here's what we're doing today. While this is drying just a little bit, I thought I would show you. Boy, I had a lot of feedback about this card and y'all kind of liked it. So, and I liked it too. There's some things I need to change. So we're going to do that together. But I had people asking me for a tutorial. So here we are. All right. This is what we're going to do. These lovely peonies, I'm going to show you how I create the cardstock that we die cut them out of. And that's what we're doing. But I don't really want to leave it in camera because it'll get overspray on it from inks and things like that. So this is a process, and I had really wanted to have at least some of the panels done, but I didn't. I did get the background all done and ready to go. So I'm ahead of the game from where I normally am. But go back, if you don't know how to create these backgrounds, go back and follow my background series. I think there were 4 installments in it. So go back and watch that if you want to see how, and me really walk through the process on how we complete these backgrounds. Hi, Laura Stahl. Thanks for joining. You might be the only one, unless there's some people who are being quiet. Go watch those videos and see all the different ways to create a whole bunch of backgrounds. It's really the Tim Holtz style of layering and layering and layering the inks. I'm using the spray stains tonight. They're my favorite. They're kind of vibrant and bright. I'll be honest. I love the oxides and I want to use the oxides, but it gives that chalky effect and it's opaque, and I like using them together, but lots of times I'm just like, oh, I lost all the pretty transparency that I love so much. So many times I will use them, but then just a little bit of spritz water right there. And then I go back and I kind of am like, I don't know that I am in love with it. So we're layering with all this beautiful transparent ink. And I tend to I started with a little bit of the squeezed lemonade and a little bit of the, what is that? Citrus something. I have to go look. Hold on. And it's just a matter of layering and layering and layering. And now I'm going to add in, here it is, twisted citron. I always forget. I don't use my spray stains all the time, but when I do, I just love them so much. So And don't forget, I like white space too. I think white space is good. I don't think white space is a bad thing. I think it adds interest and dramatic and kind of artistic effect. And so I'm not mad if every single bit of this cardstock is not covered. Okay. See that? So now I did kind of a base layer with the lightest color, and then I know how much of the darker colors maybe I want to go in with. And oh, Ricardo says it's not showing up with him as Sue Crafter. It's actually TexATL. So that's his other YouTube name. So the things where he watches all of his diving videos and all that good stuff. So one little squirt of mowed lawn kind of in the middle, and we will water it down just a little bit. And then Tim Holtz does this. He takes his finger, he kind of like smudges it through so that it gets a little bit mixed in. And that definitely gave us a little burst of color there. And now watch, I'm going to add just a little bit of water because I don't want it overly intense there with that green. And that will soften it and move it around a little bit. And so I'm not going to do a ton with this because we could be here all night making all of our backgrounds, and that wasn't really the primary thing that I wanted to show you. So I think I'm good with this. And here's the deal. If you want more, because more is more, on these backgrounds, you can always go back in and actually do some ink blending to add some kind of variation and more intensity in. And you don't have to completely dry between layers. Don't forget, we can leave it slightly wet. And actually, as the ink starts to dry on our craft mat or on our glass mat, it leaves some speckles and some interest and things like that on there, which is really cool. And I'm going to actually take this Twisted Citron and I'm going to open it up. Tiffany Solario does this a lot. And you just kind of use this to get a little bit more splatter and not just a direct spray on there. If you add some water to it, and then I'm trying to think as I work. If you add some water and then you spray, it will have more movement. And see that look how cool that looks. Getting a lot of that. And then, but then I also like some of these splatters with just the ink, and it's not too bad because it's not an overwhelming or really, really dark color, right? And if you take it, when you have those splatters like that and put it on a dry part of your mat, you'll kind of still get that speckled appearance, but it kind of smushes it in just a little bit, right? Okay, so let's dry this a little bit. You have to dry it just a little bit, and then we'll do a little bit of the dribbled water effect. And this is the trick that I wanted to talk about tonight. We have to do both sides of the pink because the peony petals actually need to come up and curl in. So you need your ink on both sides. So we're going to have to do both sides of that and really get into it. But the green leaves are not going, you're not going to see the back side of it is what I want to say. So I dried it a little bit. Now I'm going to do gentle squeezes so that I get the much bigger water droplets. Okay. And you can always put it in your hand and do some dribbling. If you can, sometimes it's not as easy to just get the big droplets. Let it sit for a second. You can even dry it just a little bit and you'll get more of that water droplet effect as the ink kind of lifts up into the water, which is what I love. I love, love, love. Isn't this so pretty? I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And I will say a lot of the cards when we do this, when I do this kind of technique boy, I get a lot of positive feedback from it. So I know everybody else loves it, must love it too. Seems to be the most highly rated cards for sure. So drying it just a little bit. See why I wanted to have some of this done beforehand, but I didn't. A little bit more spraying. Okay, let it sit. And thanks, Laura. Laura, what are you working on? Are you crafting it all? And if anybody else is on here, Laura, it just might be us. We might not have anybody else tonight. I didn't really make an announcement ahead of time, but this will be a good video for people to go back and watch as they have time, because it definitely will show people how we create this pretty peony card that had such good feedback. So I'm not going to dry this anymore because I'm going to sit it aside and it'll somewhat dry on its own. We'll go back to it. I want to get started on the pink, and here's what happened. Let me show you this again. Okay, so this is pretty, but it turned out that the petals became a lot more saturated in color because of the oxides, because it tends to, if you're not really careful, it'll overpower it. So it became kind of one note to me. And I know everybody liked it, but I wasn't as happy with my petals. So we're going to try to do a better job to get more of the effect that I really wanted. And you'll see what I mean. So let's clean this off just a little bit, because I don't want orange or coral. I want some pinks on here for my peonies. Would not be a bad thing to have. I love the peonies that have yellow in the middle and then the tips are pink. Oh, but you know, if we mix yellow and the pinks, we're going to get coral. So oh, Laura's working on a bulletin board. Did I ever tell you the story, Laura, about when I was a teacher and how bulletin boards were not my favorite thing to do? Everybody thinks that's so funny. Okay, so I've got picked raspberry, kitsch flamingo, and spun sugar. Let's do a little bit of spun sugar because it's very light. And then maybe just a little bit of kitsch flamingo because it's brighter. I'm going to run my finger through it, and I'm going to once again just mist my Bristol Strathmore Smooth cardstock. And if you need the supplies to know what I'm using for this card, I do have it in all of the description in the Garbly Goo. It's right there. Okay, so we'll do the first pass, and look, you know, you definitely, you have to build it and build it and build it, right? And get it to move and get some interest going here. All right. If you pop on, make sure you say hello, or if you're watching, say hello. Laura and I are going to get tired of chatting. It somewhat is, Laura. I just have it back. You know, I'm not saying it's my own hair or anything. Sometimes when you don't want to do a whole lot, I love all the hair pieces and the clippies and all that stuff that you can get now. So, you know, my hair's not as long as yours, and so I'm not gonna say, but it may or may not be my own. You can gather what you will from that. So look, we're doing this we're going to end up doing both sides, okay? Because like I said, I need these petals. You're going to see both sides of them. And I'll show you how we do this. It's actually so much easier than people think. It is really not that hard. Okay, so let's add a little bit more. We're going to do the process again. We're going to do it on the back. And we're going to go kind of quickly. I'm going to have to get, look, more spun sugar. I have not bought, can you see how much is in there? Not very much. More sprays than what I, you know, originally have. I have not bought a refill of anything. So it's actually kind of exciting to need some more. Okay, so doing the exact same process. Okay, just like we did. Spray a little bit more water, get those little rivers going for interest. See, it's so much prettier once you spritz a little bit more water on it. And I love that this glass media mat, I can heat on it and it won't hurt it at all. I love that. Okay. So I'm just going to work on the front and the back and do all the layers kind of at the same time, the same process before we add more colors. And it doesn't have to be perfect because, you know, when it's shaded at the bottom, it might be darker on the back side than it is on the inner side, right? Because of the shading, the natural shading. So we don't have to worry too much about making it perfect. A little bit more water here and there. A little bit more Kitsch Flamingo for some interest. Okay. And a little bit more water to get it moving. All right. I'm going fast because nobody wants to see stain dry. What do we want to talk about? What else is going on? Is this weekend President's Day weekend, or is it I think it's the following. Am I right? What's everybody doing for Valentine's Day? Is that a thing in your house? Do you do anything? Laura, I bet it's fun with the grandkids, right? Are your grandkids close? Okay, so there we go. We've got both sides. We've got some stuff going on. Let's go ahead and add a little bit of, where is it? Oh, here we go. Picked raspberry. This is going to add a little bit more of that bright, bright, bright effect. And we'll soften it with a little bit of kitsch. Run your finger through it like this. They're 5 streets away. I love it. That's so fun, Laura. Okay, remember, white space is good. We're not going to complain. And get that moving so it doesn't look like a crime scene or anything, right? There we go. And if you want to soften it, you add more water. If you don't, you can just dry that. Ricardo and I were talking about your granddaughter the other day and how cute she is. He remembered that she called him Taco. And we thought that was so funny. I totally forgot that she called him that. And oh my gosh, he got such a kick out of it. So we were laughing. We were laughing about that one the other day. Little kids, so funny. Okay, isn't this so pretty? Look at that. Ooh, it looks so good. I'm going to add in just a little bit more. I might even spray the Kitsch Flamingo and the spun sugar right there. Okay, get it to move around just a little bit. Okay. She is very funny. All right. And we'll dry this just a little bit, and then we'll go back to the front side or the back side, whichever it is now. Isn't that pretty? That's looking really pretty. I don't want it to be all one note, the same color, kind of like my first one did. I want all of the variations. Look how pretty that is. Like it's pink marble or something. Looks so good. I love it. I'm going to put just a little bit more water on here and now run this side in through the ink. Okay. Leaving some white space, but I want both sides to have some color on it. Okay. There we go. And now a little bit of water. So we have our green for our leaves, and then we have our pink, and then I'll show you how easy it is to do the yellow kind of stamens, you know, the middle of the flower. Super easy for that too. We're going to go direct ink to paper for that one. Super, super simple. Laura, what are you looking forward to, or if someone else is watching, for this year's Nashville Craft Retreat? You know, planning and working with the sponsors is in full swing. There's a lot going on, but sometimes I lose track of how excited y'all are probably getting, and what you're looking forward to and what you're most excited about. What are you most excited about this year, Laura? Like, what do you always think, oh man, I can't wait to get there and, you know, do this, 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 and this. Okay, here's what we've got. You know, not the same, which is fine. Okay. Let's do some splatters. Ooh, the gel plates. Yay. Oh, I have to tell you, me too, me too, me too. I am so excited. And Diana from Crooked Little Studio, who's coming to teach the gel plate class, is really excited as well. So that's even better because she's never been. She doesn't know how crazy we are. But she's really excited to come teach too. So I love it. So there's my little splatters. Let's get some picked raspberry. Just a few little splatters that way. And we don't want it to look like a crime scene. So we are definitely going to wet them a little bit. And of course, seeing everyone. I know that, I have to say, that's what I really look forward to for sure. For sure, for sure. Okay, adding just a little bit of water. Oh, Laura. Oh, this year's enamel pen is everything an over the top enamel pen should be. I have to tell you, I am so excited about that. Oh my gosh. I have to see, you got me all excited because I had forgotten how awesome it is. And so this year is going to be the enamel pen of enamel pens for sure. So, okay, we're doing that on that side. Let's go ahead and do some of that on this side. I know it really, I tell you, the people, the friends that we have made, well, I mean, you know, like some of our best friends have come from the Nashville Craft Retreat, and all of the amazing people that we've met kind of over the last, this is our 5th year, so it's just crazy. But it is going to be so, I don't know, I'm really excited too. Like, this is the year to end all years, like seriously, so excited about it. Just want that water to move just a little bit on those spots. I don't want it to be too saturated. So this is looking really pretty. Get that moving just a little bit. Kind of tap it down. It just takes some working and some more working and some more working. And then, because more is more, we're going to do some Distress shimmer spritz on it too. I love it. Now I could go in with some spatters from just a little bit of water droplets now, but I just don't think I'm in the mood to add any of the oxides. Like I said, I mean, everybody has their own I love the oxides, don't get me wrong, but I'm just not always a huge fan of the oxidized look, the kind of chalky. And because, like I said, it gets opaque and it kind of overshadows some of the other stuff, it's just not always my. Okay, let's get some good. I'm trying to get those big water droplets on here. My daughter and I are going to the general admission event for Simon's. Oh, that's fun. Ricardo and I were just talking about that. I think it's kind of hurting a little bit my registrations, to be honest. When they have their event, especially now because it's at the beginning of May. Hi Sharon Meredith, how are you? She lost track of time. So yeah, I think it's impacting my registrations right now. So I'm kind of bummed, trying to put on a good face for y'all, but I'm a little bit bummed right now, I have to say. It does not help that they now, when they have theirs at the beginning of May. So I think, the general admission, it's more shopping and make and takes. So it's not at all the same thing, and a lot of times and I hear it's a great event by far. Trying to get, oh, I know you need someone, don't you? I know. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get the shimmer spritz, and I'm going to get the, what is this? This one's Pitch Flamingo. And we'll go ahead and we'll add some on. Thank you, Sharon. I wasn't fishing for that compliment, but I'll take it. It's just so much more, right? I mean, they have classes at Create, but I hear it sells out very quickly. And I think there's only 2 different ones, maybe. So, oh yes, Laura, you're right, because it's in Columbus. So it is close, and you should go because I hear it's fantastic. And they have shopping and lots of make and takes with your general admission, for sure. Okay, so I'm going to open up. I love this distress spritz. If you don't have it, I have to tell you, I don't use it all the time, but I use it a lot more than you would think. I just love it. So right now I'm just, opening it up and using the dauber to do splatters. And I don't know what the price was. Didn't even look because obviously I wasn't going. So, but I mean, I have to say, I know what you get at the Nashville Craft Retreat, and I know it, Laura. See, I love that. Thank you. Do you have to pay to get into shop at Create? I don't know that you do. And a lot of the big designers are there and they're working for the companies and stuff. And so I hear it's a lot of fun. You definitely should go. You'll have to tell me, I'm sure you'll have a good time. Absolutely. All the big people are there, and I think Gina Kay goes and Jennifer McGuire goes, I think. And it's a lot of fun. Oh, is it really, Sharon? Well, then $449 for 3 days and 7 classes and card cafe and catered lunch. Let's just tell everybody, right? That's what I want to go out and tell everybody, right? Look how pretty. Look. Can you see? Wait a minute. We got to figure out how to get this shimmer. Are you ready? Ah, I got to get it, and I don't know that I can. There we go. There you can see it. That's from the shimmer spritz, because shimmer spritz is transparent. It's not opaque like an oxide. Oh, it just gives the pretty. I wish you could see it in person. It is so pretty. I love it. Now let's do it on this side, okay? So I'm telling you, now, do I think I need shimmer spritz personally in every single color? Maybe, but I'm not going to, because I can use this pink Kitsch Flamingo. I can buy one or two sets. You know, they did sell it like in sets, like of certain colors. And honestly, I think I have one. I might have two sets. And this is all, in all honesty, I need because it's transparent. And if I have one pink, this Kitsch Flamingo, you know, Flamingo is probably one of my favorite colors. And so I don't need every other color because it will layer and it will work with all the other stuff, you know? And if I want to give it a spritz right here, boom, I can, or a little, just a little spray. Let's see. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, why is there a message held for review, I wonder? That's weird. Oh, that Sharon, that's weird. It's saying that your message is held for review and I don't know why. So I apologize. I don't know why it's saying that. But she just says, right, Laura? Okay, let me get my thing back over here. Sorry. Okay, so let's get this dry and we'll have our pink done and we'll be ready to do some die cutting. And I'll show you how I do the yellow middles. I think that's so weird. I don't know why it's trying to hold that comment. You never know what these computers are doing. Oh, I just love that shimmer spritz. It's so pretty. Oh, here, I can click it and show it. I wasn't sure if it was on my end. I need to do something. Hold on, I got to move my mouse. My mouse gets funny. There we go. Okay, there it is. I know, it's so weird. It's like the bots or whatever, you know, and whatever they do. Hold on, I'm going to catch the house on fire by not moving the heat tool. Okay, back to this and how pretty. Now, it might look like a hot mess. Stick with me. Okay, and let's get it dry. And it doesn't have to be 100% dry to run it through my die cutting machine. It's okay. Move all this. Y'all, you have to, I got to show you something. Look, I'm going to show you. Are you ready? I'm going to put my face on, but what I really want to do, I'm proud of myself. Can you see this? Look, can you see it? Look what I did today. And you can't even see the ends. This is the only little mess I have left. I have had ink storage, more Stampin' Storage ink holders. I think I had 4 downstairs. And they're the natural wood color. And I spray paint them myself because when I first got mine, they were natural and they didn't even sell white ones. Now they sell white ones. And so I wanted it to match my others. So I just spray paint it myself. So I brought 1, 2 up. I think I have 1 more downstairs. And then all the little dividers, I'm working on getting those spray painted. But look, if you have been tuning in for the last couple of years, this has been a serious disaster. And right behind me, it was a real mess. And I'm not kidding. I spent all day cleaning and running downstairs and let me do this. Running downstairs and spray painting and running back up. It's been like an all-day project. And sometimes for my mental stability, because like I said, it's been kind of stressful around here, I need to clean and not work in a messy environment to feel kind of okay. And so I needed this, and not just to take my mind off of it. Yay, thanks, Sharon. I agree. But I needed to clean it up so that mentally, I think you need, do y'all feel that way too? I think a lot of women feel that way. So I just needed to take the time to clean up my space because obviously this is my job now. And my ink storage is from Stampin' Storage, I believe is the name of the company, Laura. And I love and you have to be careful. You have to order the right size because they have some for distress. And I did just a little bit, Sharon. I swore I was going to go exercise downstairs today. And instead, this is what I spent the whole day doing. So remember, both sides are done because we're going to see both sides. So yes, Sharon, I'm assuming you're saying yes because we need it for our mental stability. We are going to, now I'm only going to create one of these flowers, I think, because we certainly are not going to sit through me. I wish I had known that I needed a bigger panel, but we're going to create one flower and you'll see it. Okay, so I'm running it through the dye machine now, and then here's our leaves. And I would do the distress spritz on here too, and I think we have twisted citron for that. Okay, look how pretty this is going to be. Oh my goodness. And we have both sides, look, and you can see the splatters. And see, I think I like these better than the other ones because they were so just kind of monochromatic one. I know, see, and that's what I was thinking. I ran, and it was several times. So that was good. And even got my upper body because I carried two at one time because I'm all about not taking any more trips than I have to. And so I did that, did some squats when I was picking them up off the table and putting them back down. Let's use this last little bit and we'll do a couple of small flowers here with this last little space that we've got. And we'll see if I can even do one more pass that way. Okay. And see, I like that these are brighter. They're more of what I really wanted to do on the original one. And we've got these, and we'll see if we can do one more pass, and we'll get as much out of it as we can. And even if some of them might be a little trimmed, it will be okay because no one's going to notice when they're all on a flower. It'll look like a natural petal that's not perfect, right? So this is Spellbinders, and this was from February release. It runs middle of February to the middle of March. And peonies are just absolutely one of my favorite flowers. So I jumped at it when Yana asked if I wanted this set because peonies are my favorite, probably one of my favorite flowers, period. Okay, let's get some green leaves going. And once again, I only did one side of green because you won't see the back side. We won't curl that up, but the peony petals have to curl up and in. I didn't do my flower correctly on the first one. And so, we're our own worst critics. Everybody else loved it. And I thought, oh, but don't you see how my petals went the wrong way? And yada, yada, yada. When I was making the letters for my bulletin board, little Miss Macy was helping me die cut. Oh, that's fantastic to have that help. I bet she loves helping Grandma do that. Gabe, the very first craft retreat, Gabe did a lot of die cutting for me. He did a lot. He sat there. We didn't have 100 and some people like we have now. We had 55, but he sat there and he die cut and he die cut and he die cut. He has not been around, he's always busy now for me to recruit. So he's now gotten out of that job every other time. I poked my hand with the pokey tool. Do one more. So Sharon, we know what Laura's working on. What kind of craftiness are you working on right now? Oh, before we move on, I'm going to show you how I do the middles. Okay, so we've got a lot of leaves. Make a lot of leaves, or petals, or leaves, sorry. Leaves was right. make a lot of leaves. It looks better. You know, more is more on your card. We might want more than that, and we might want to splatter these, but we'll see. Before I move this glass mat, I'm going to show you super simple. First, I know that my ink pad needs to be inked, and I almost did it before I went live, but I always like to take the opportunity to show people how to do it, because you never know if there's someone new here watching and they don't know how to do it, and they don't know how important it is to keep their foam ink pads really juicy. Oh, I got the prettiest Valentine's card from Megan Kinahan. She's part of my design. I don't have an official design team, but she's kind enough that she likes to create with the My Pretty Things stuff. And so she sent me the cutest little card. Okay, so here's my Glitz ink pad. If you are new and you've never followed me before, or you just don't know, my hands down favorite ink pad is Catherine Pooler. And Catherine Pooler ink pads are foam, and they're very squishy and they're very juicy. However, they take some maintenance and you have to care for them. You know, believe it or not, some ink pads, especially the foam ink pads, do deteriorate over time, and you might have to replace them. But there are things you can do to care for it to make it last longer. And I will tell you, I obviously have not been given my ink pad the TLC, because I don't know if you can see the middle. We tend to ink in the middle, pulls more of the ink out, and it will tend to dry up in some spots if you aren't careful. Also, because it's foam, we have these edges, and I don't know if you can see, when I push on it with my fingernail, it's not popping right back out, which means it is dry. So I wanted to show people how to re-ink your ink pad. See, I think here it is. Okay, so I highly recommend, if you invest in Catherine Pooler foam ink pads, that you buy an ink refill at the same time. Because, like I said, you have to maintain them and take care of them, and they will last a lot longer. But mine obviously needs to be, mine definitely needs to be reinked. And I'll show you, don't do this, but I'm trying to get that. It's probably a miniature dachshund dog hair in the middle of my ink pad. Here's how I know this needs to be re-inked. Watch. If I go direct ink to paper, look, some people are like, how will I know when I need to re-ink? You know. If it takes a lot more work to ink blend because you keep loading your brush from your ink pad, or look, do the direct ink to paper test. That is a dry ink pad. See how it's kind of skipped and it didn't really saturate that line? That's a dry ink pad. That's how you know you need to re-ink. So you like my, thanks, Laura. You like my ponytail. I like it too. It's fun, isn't it? Okay, so here we go. I'm going to very gently squeeze it, give it a little squiggle, definitely get it in the middle. And then I like to go around the outside, because we saw how dry the edges were. And we need to keep that juicy, because the foam ink pad will deteriorate on the outside. Now I'm going to kind of go just a little bit going this direction. You don't want to over ink it. I mean, although there's ways. And then look, it's even kind of sitting on top, but we're going to fix that. That's how dry it is. Take a kind of rectangular block, and we're going to hold it at kind of an angle, 45 degrees, and very gently push down on the ink pad, and we're moving that ink across the ink pad, making sure that we're not pushing the ink out into the side. We're just getting it to kind of move in and evenly distribute. and go in different directions. And now I've re-inked that ink pad. So if you really should maybe set up a couple times a year to make sure that you are maintaining your ink pads. And lots of times I will clean the edges because you want, if you get too much ink around the sides, they will stick and you won't get a good kind of closed seal. And so I will go around and I'll clean it with a little bit of alcohol on a paper towel or a lint-free towel and clean that off so that it gets a nice seal to close and not let any air in. But you can see I almost waited too long to ink it because it was starting to dry out there in the middle, but I think we're safe. Now watch when you put your finger in it. Look, now it's juicy. So now let's see how it goes direct ink to paper. Much better. I would rather not over ink it, so I don't want it too crazy, but look at how much of a better job that does. So I'm just going direct ink to paper, smushing down some ink, and now I can probably put more ink on here and it would be okay. But that's how you re-ink your ink pad, and that's why it's so important to take care of your foam ink pads. I don't care what company you have. A lot of them have them now, the foam ink pads. So you definitely have to maintain it and take care of them. Buy the ink refill. I know I have a lot of linen or felt ink pads that I've never even re-inked and I've had for years. But the foam ones, you got to take care of them. So I went direct ink to paper, done. Let's go ahead and cut the a couple of middles out. And then I can definitely move the, and I kind of move this to the side because there's a little flower in here. I want you to see this on this die. This is another flower and that's the middle. And so I want these, normally on my other card, they were white, but I want the little stamen, the middle part, to be yellow. So I just have it off the side so that I'm not wasting any of the yellow parts if I don't have that much. Let's run it through and get one more. What did everybody have for dinner? Because I can tell I'm getting hungry. I'm starting to think about dinner time. Okay, there we go. See that? But look, we need the other side to be yellow too. But I'm just going to go direct ink to paper and just do that with my thing because I forgot that, because it shows. So you need both sides. You could use just already yellow cardstock, right? Make your life easy. But I like doing the direct ink to paper, and it's the way that I get the exact color that I want. And I'm going to show you how I get these petals to do what I want and to form that pretty flower. And you're going to be amazed at how easy this is. So let's get glitz again. I'm not going to do the little white flowers because it's kind of the same process. Look, just tap it on there and it doesn't have to be perfect. And because my ink pad, look how juicy it is now, it's coloring it no problem. Now we've got that. Let's clean this. And I'll set it to the side because we're all done with it. I love my little Tim Holtz glass mat. That's what I take when I go to crops and things to work. That's the kind of work surface that I work on. Okay, let's pull all this up. And if you're looking for the link for this particular die set, it's in the description under supplies list. Everything is right there. If you click on it, it's an entire link deli list. All the supplies that I'm using are linked there. And so this is why we needed both of these. Now, I just start to work it. I need it to, I just take my tweezers, my reverse tweezers, and I start moving it, and I use my fingers, and you want it to be pliable. Okay. And I start just moving it. Now, I will tell you, I used my foam mat for the other ones, but I don't know that, and with a stylus or something, to really kind of cup it up, and we might do that. But first, we just kind of need it to work. And so I will take it and kind of curl it up and get it to see how I used my tweezers to curl it up, but also I want it to curl this way. I want it to be really pliable. And this is the other thing that I love about Bristol Strathmore Smooth Mixed Media Paper. It can take abuse this way too. And once you really kind of get it molded, you can really get it to curl up like we talked about. So I'm going to use my tweezers this way and curl it just like this, just like real flower petals, right? So just take the time. If you took that much time to make the backgrounds and stuff, just take your time to get it to move too, right? Don't get in a rush now. Okay. Don't tear it either. Now, something else you can do is, especially on the layers that are going to be up at the top, you could ink the middle and make it a little bit darker if you wanted. I did try to do that on my first card, but you couldn't really see it. It was kind of a waste of time. So it would need to be more dramatic if you really want that effect. Okay. And look, I can kind of just move it this way. If you use the foam pad and you use a stylus, that's kind of a technique from several years ago. I forget the company that was really known for doing a lot of flowers that way. And I actually bought a kit from them with different sizes of stylus and everything. But this works just as good. Look, this is all I need to do. And then kind of cup it too. Kind of curls the middle and everything also. So we really, if you are familiar with peonies, their petals really curl in and they cup inward quite a bit, and that really gives it a lot of dimension. And this is one of the most important parts of really doing these flowers and making them pretty. Okay, so we are going to definitely go back around now, get all these petals to curl in. And you can use, to glue this together, if you really wanted to, you could use kind of a low melting point glue gun. I do love that glue guns, it's like, immediately sticks. I didn't. I used my Barely Arts and it worked just fine for the card. See that? There we go. That's going to be lovely. Definitely get a lot of that because you can always maneuver it. So we've got that one, and let's do another one. I'll go quickly on this one. Okay, just get it moving. What color would you make this flower? If you were doing it, would you do pink also? What color would you? Blue ones would be pretty. Is that realistic? No, but it would be pretty. A little bit of lavender. My first one was supposed to have some lavender that you could see, but in the end, it didn't really come. Did I lose everybody? Got quiet. Well, the two people I see on. It got quiet. Oh, I'll tell you something else that's really fun. Giveaways and swag are rolling in for the craft retreat, and that is always so much fun. So look, we are going to put these like that. Look how pretty that is. It's going to come just like a real peony. I made a 6x6 card with the Beach Vibes pattern paper and ephemera. I can't post it yet because it's for a friend we're celebrating tomorrow. Just could not cut it down. Yay, I like the 6x6 card. If you mail it through the mail, you have to pay extra postage, but I love a good square card. like love a good square card for sure. Love it. Well, that's fun. I'm glad you love it so much, Sharon. I do too. Okay, what? Just watching. I do pink too. See, yeah, it's pretty. Cannot go wrong. This is going to take forever, but this is how I do it. So that you really see how, and taking these tweezers and curling it helps a lot. And like I said, the more you work it, the actually better it's going to look. And oh, that's good. No postage involved. That's fantastic. Okay, so get this to curl, show it who's boss. Some people wrap it around like something else, but, and then you're just going to tuck them in and you're going to glue each layer, like just right in the middle, right? And then once it's totally dry, you can really get the petals to do, and you can do as many layers as you want. The more layers you do, I think it'll look more like, you know, there's different kinds of peonies. There's the ones that just have kind of like the bigger cup around the outside, and then it has kind of the yellow stamens and stuff in the middle. And so you can, or there's the ones that have all kinds of layers and layers and layers and layers of petals, right? Um, and so I got distracted for a minute. Sorry, I have my phone. Normally my phone's not sitting right here on my desk. I don't know why I have it still sitting here. And it chimed. I don't know if you, there, look how pretty. Yes, that would definitely Sharon. And you know, do you follow Sharon? You know, she's on Instagram also, Laura. So let me turn this down. There we go. So go follow Sharon on Instagram and you can see her card. Okay, almost done. Now, and then I'll show you, it's real easy to do the middle part. And like I said, you'll just glue all of these pieces together. See, look how pretty. It's going to look like a real, and I like it better than my first card. It's going to be pretty. And then now, because we color both sides, you see, we had to curl it up. Watch, this is super simple. So here's what I did. I kind of grabbed, there's like a little tab on this side. I kind of angle it down so I have kind of a base to sit this on. See how it kind of curls? And then I twisted it around on itself. Just using my tweezers to hold it. And then I just used a bunch of glue. Like I said, use a low, I would rather use a low point glue gun. And then I tuck that tab under. Can you see that? And then that's what, and I used two of these together. So now the next one, you're going to wrap around this one, and it definitely gives you the more full effect of all those little stamens in the middle. And then I squished them down. So glue it in the middle, and then I took the end of these tweezers and I kind of push it down so they look like real life. And see that? Smush them down. Use that technical term, right? Smush it down. And a big dollop of glue right in the middle of your flower. And I promise it'll stay. Give it time. Hold it down, especially, you know, if you have a good glue like Barely Arts, it'll stay. And then look how pretty that is. Then we have a beautiful, I have not glued mine, but look, and just kind of work your petals and move them around, show them who's boss, but keep a lot of those really, the more layers you put in there, the prettier it's going to be, and be really full and tucked in. And then if you really want to do it the way that I did my other card, and you can even like pull, like make some of them like angle back out. Look at that pretty white edge. Isn't that pretty? Like a real highlight. This is way prettier than my original card. And everybody thought that one was pretty. I like to splatter it with some white PH Martins. If you don't know what that is, I'll show you. But You'll notice I do this a lot on these kind of cards that I make. I like a good white spatter, and I use the Dr. P.H. Martin's because it doesn't pick up the ink and it stays white. So this is what it looks like. Bleed proof. There's so many things you can do with this. You need a bottle of this. I'll make sure this is on my supplies list. And that's how I do my spatters. And so, but this one's going to be way better. Look, I'll show you the original one and this one, and look how much better it's going to be. This is going to be so much better and look like a real peony, right? I mean, this one's pretty, but not as pretty as this one's going to be. See, this is why we should always make two of everything, right? This one looks like a real peony, and I love it so much. Okay, everybody, and then I already did the background before we even started. Who wants a sneak peek? Are you ready? Look how pretty that is. I added a frame just for a little bit of interest. So, so, so pretty. Do you mail a card like this? I would, Sharon. I'm not good about mailing cards normally. I would probably put this in a box. You know how we make I've shown you how to make a box. I'd probably put this in a box to mail, because it's going to get really smushed. But because of the way we've done it, if it smushes a little bit, it's going to be fine. But this is, like you said, one of those that I would hand deliver. Okay. Sharon, I'm going to privately message you because I want to tell you something too. Are you ready? You see this card? You see it? Card Maker Success Summit. Into February, I'm teaching this card. Pull out that craft paper. You know, that humble craft paper that we've all got in our closet? Pull it out, because I'm going to show you how to make that card. And it is so pretty. And we're going to craft a beautiful birthday card. You can get a free ticket. It's free. And there's like 20 some teachers teaching all different things. Take your crafting to the next level. Join us. It's all free. The link with my link is in the description and all the garbly goo. Click it, go get your free ticket. And I'm going to show you how to make this card. It is so pretty. Seriously, I am a little bit in love with that card, and I would love to show you how to do it. Okay. Anything else? Thanks so much for joining me. I'm going to go have dinner. We did pretty well tonight. I wish I'd had some of the backgrounds already made, but I love that card. I'm going to love this one even more than the first one. Oh, good. Laura's signed up already. Yay, Laura. That's fantastic. Okay. Thanks for joining me. I'm glad we did this together. I hope everyone loves it. And thank you to those of you who asked and wanted the demo. It was perfect because sometimes I don't always know what to do. Don't forget to go sign up for the Nashville Craft Retreat if you haven't yet. Go get your free ticket to the Card Maker Success Summit. So many awesome instructors and different things to do. And let me tell you this. Laura, you may have been asking me about this. I think I'm going to start a new series. We're going to make some albums together. I have all that new beautiful scrapbook paper, and I'm going to show you how to make your own albums and all the pockets and flips and flaps and junk journals. I think we're going to be making some things like that, some different paper crafts. So I hope you're excited. It'll be a series, and I will take you step by step how to do it and how to do very simple ones or how to do much more involved ones. I love making mini albums. I have not made one in a long time, so I might be kind of rusty, but I think it's going to be really fun. And so I want you to start thinking about paper collections, and, you know, if you pull something out of your stash, I'd love it if you come by some new paper collections. Just so you know, I normally need at least 2. Normally I buy 2 packs of paper with ephemera. So if you are so inclined that you're going to go shopping, and I now have coordinated cardstock 12 by 12 that coordinates with the paper as much as I could, I will have that in the store to coordinate with the new 12 by 12 and the 6 by 6 collection. So I'm really excited about that. And we're going to start that pretty soon. It'll be a whole series, okay? All kinds of different folios and flips and flaps and pockets and albums and things like that. It's going to be lots of fun. So thank you so much for joining me. I will see y'all later. Bye, everybody.